Cool.
Hi guys, this is Mike L from the Comic Book Syndicate. We're here with Timmy Omens at Detroit Comics in Ferndale, Michigan. And we're here to go all the way back to the very first appearance of Deadpool. Let's just say he has humble origins, okay? New Mutants was a spin-off comic from the X-Men, and at this point, it had been failing, and Rob Liefeld had taken over the art chores on the book, and eventually he pushed Louise Simonson off the book because he was getting so popular that the editor, Bob Harris, was tending to side with Liefeld over Simonson whenever they get into arguments, the story goes. So at this point, we have a new writer, Fabian Nicieza. And so Rob Liefeld has all these characters that he's spitting out and introducing into the book. One of them, Cable, had already become really popular. There was a bunch of other ones that came after that weren't popular. But this one, Deadpool, after about 5 or 6 years, he also took off. And now he's so popular that there's a movie made out of him. Looking at this book at this point, what is your first impression of it?
It was all right, slow, a little bit cheesy.
I didn't think it was, you know what's funny? I didn't think it was
maybe not slow,
Sure.
but cheesy.
cheesy in what way?
Oh, and now I'm hitting you with this disruptor and an armament. Hey, nice armament from when Cannonball hit him with that.
You know what? I had just reread New Mutants, the issues leading up to this one, and there was a big change from Louise Simonson to Fabian Nicieza. I actually thought the writing was fairly good. What did you think of the dialogue other than that little pun?
It was all right. They foreshadowed a lot of stuff that I had no... You read the ones before that. I had not. I just read this one issue, so I had a lot of questions. But I would now go back or go forward in that storyline to see. Maybe check out where Gideon came from and why Wolfbane is on the island.
Sure. Okay, now characterization of Deadpool. Does this Deadpool resemble the Deadpool that you have been reading the last few years?
A little bit. You can see where it starts, but definitely between the two, you're just like, what is this kind of... it just seems young. I mean, his eyes never move. Like, it's all in the eyes in the newer Deadpool.
Sure.
His facial expressions. But, he was a BA. He was taking people out,
Sure,
Like, he took out the whole X-Force team, very quickly and knew what he was doing. But not so much with the dialogue. The dialogue was not similar.
Not with his personality, with Deadpool's personality.
You can see the start, but
Yeah.
definitely not the same.
Okay, now here is the elephant in the room. What did you think about the artwork by Rob Liefeld?
If I had to pick between the two, which I liked better, I would go with the more modern Deadpool. It was interesting, but it reminds me of everything from back then, and it kind of blurs together. I mean, it's all one and the same. It reminds me of when I look at that comic, I can automatically tell that's a comic from the 90s.
Well, Jim Lee and Scott Williams created that style, but Rob Liefeld made it easy enough to imitate that anyone could imitate it because he really didn't have much skill. In this issue, I can see why he was popular at the time because his style was so different. But other than the shots of guys standing like this and like this,
everybody's ripped.
Just,
everybody's ripped.
I know, and he can do that well, but there's the one time where he was out of his element. You remember the scene where after Deadpool gets defeated, he sort of collapsed over like a pile of rocks that don't exist in the mansion. You remember that?
Yeah.
It's so poorly done.
when you just see he's going back to throw the knives, and then all of a sudden he's just in his
Yeah, exactly.
He's just in his back.
Exactly. Rob Liefeld is the creator or the co-creator. He's the creator of the visuals. Fabian Nicieza is the creator of the personality. But as you can see, the personality was not in place at this point. So do you see a case to be made for other people like, say, Joe Kelly getting credit for giving Deadpool his personality? What do you think about that?
I think it's just like a child. It grows over time. Everyone takes their certain niche and pushes that wall a little bit further, till Deadpool's literally hanging on to that fourth wall.
Nice. I like it. So, Timmy, from these humble origins, do you think anyone could have ever predicted that 25 years later we'd have a Deadpool movie?
Not like the one that's about to happen, I don't think. No. I mean, maybe a little bit if you were the Nostradamus of comics,
Sure.
But not, no.
So basically, I think what we've kind of proven is the character has evolved over the years. The Deadpool that people know and love today didn't come till much later, which we're going to talk about in our next segment when we review the new Deadpool #1 from 3 years ago, right?
Yes.
Something like that. Okay, great. So right after this, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about another Deadpool comic.